What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning PHP object-oriented programming. My name is QDS Dani and you guys watching my channel Wood. Alright, so we begin with our classes now. So how are we going to declare our variables here? So I'm going to create a new class. So for example, alright, so now we're going to create a new class. Say for example, we have created the Wood, which is a social networking site. We're gonna create our create a cryo, say for example social, and if you guys know, if you guys follow our previous video, we have created a website. It's called cryo social, cryo social, and that cryo social you guys can log in and log out. And we have shown you guys, so soon we're going to return on the same website and we're going to complete it, but we're going to using the OOP object oriented methods in that one. So now we in the previous video we have learned how we're going to use a camel case for our classes, and we said the first letter should be upper. So every class here, now you guys have needs to declare your variables here, and you guys needs to declare your methods here. And as I said, your methods are functions, but it's outside the classes. When inside the classes, it becomes a method. All right. So now, how you guys gonna declare, say, for example, your variables? Now we need to know that if you guys create a class and we know how to create a method, how we gonna create, say, for example, variables. And keep in mind in PHP something called access modifier. It's all access modifiers. It's just like same as C++. If you guys know, it says private encapsulation. Our you do public here is exactly the same. So you know private, you guys going to put a string. Say for example, if you guys want to hide it, you guys gonna put a string. For example, x. Our you guys want to put int y. Your public, you guys want to put all your member functions, member methods. Say for example, you guys going to put a say void foo, for example. So in C++, that's your encapsulation, because you guys are creating some variables here, and this your variable is say for example private, because no other programs can access this one, and this your method is your public methods. Okay, but we are not learning C++, we are learning PHP. In PHP, this is called something called access modifiers, and access modifiers are public, private, and protected. So it's a public, it's a private, and this one is protected. Okay, so this public, private, and protected, you guys can use it for your variables. Say for example, you guys gonna come in your social media, you put a public, say for example name, because the username, you guys need to make it public, because if the user is gonna be friends with each other, they have to be public in order for them to see. But this video is about how you guys going to declare your variable. So how about if you're gonna come here and say public. Say for example, we can put a friend and we can put a name, and you guys can put a, for example, you guys can put a Azad, you guys can put a Yazdani, for example. Okay, now this one and this one's valid. This guy is here, this variable here, the first one, this one we initialize it. This one we did not initialize anything, but this is very valid. This one's also very valid. Okay, so now we're gonna come and we're gonna put a, say for example, we put a public where the user lives. Say for example, we can put a here, we can put an address. All right, so now you guys tell me if we put a dollar sign and we put an underscore and we put some sort of here variable. Yeah, pretty much this is pretty much fine. PHP is okay with that. So how about now we're gonna put a public, and we put a login, and we put a time. What time is the user login, and we put a time. So now you guys tell me if this is well, this is invalid. Variable is pretty much fine. PHP is okay with the variable, but because here you guys going to get a parse error with this one, because the values going to be updated at runtime. And here this is pretty much fine, but it's not a best practice. You guys keep in mind that one's fine, pretty much fine, because this one's fine too. But this is because it's not a very good practice to do this, and this one is a no because you guys gonna get a parse error. All right, so now how about if you put a public, say for example, you guys can put a dash, you put a log out, and you put a time. So what do you guys think? As soon as you put it here, we have put a dash here, and this is pretty much no. It's a no for PHP. PHP is not going to accept this, because as soon as you guys going to put the color changed, and PHP is not okay with this one, but PHP is okay with this one. Underscore is okay with the PHP, but not a dash, because PHP don't like this dash to come in with the variables. So how about if you guys gonna come in and use something else? Say for example, you guys gonna come in and put a public, and we put a user. For example, if you guys want to know the address, for example, how can you guys know the address? So for example, if you put a country, and we want to put a country, and you guys want to say if you guys want to use this one, for example, the address, or you guys want to use the name. For example, say if you want to put an address, say for example here, you guys also gonna get a parse error, because you guys depending on this one. So what about if you don't initialize this one? So if you don't initialize this one, it means you guys already try to use this one, but if you don't initialize this one, this you guys gonna get an error. So you guys gonna get a parse error with this one, and you guys gonna get a parse error with this one. This one's illegal. It means you guys gonna get a parse error with this one, and this guy here, that's a pretty much no. This is a no for PHP, because you guys can't use a dash for your variables. Alright, so now that we know all this, we're gonna go instead start making our say for example social Coraio social. Say for example, we're gonna put a F, our first name, we're gonna put a first name, and then we can put a public, we put a last name. Say if we put a public, for example, and we put an email, we put an address. Say for example, we put a public, we put a say gender. We can put a lot of other attributes which belongs to the user. Say for example, user have a first name, user have a last name, user have an email address, user have a password, user have a gender, user have a, say for example, you guys can put a public age, and then you guys need to put an age, and you guys need to put a public, you guys can put a message, and the list goes on and on and on and on, whatever the attributes for your social media. And your social media accepts the first name, your social media accepts the last name, your station, whatever you guys see in the social media, you guys need to create, say the variables. So that's how you guys going to create your variables. This is the pretty much acceptable in this month. Also this is also acceptable here. They're all very much pretty much okay. This is okay too, but you guys stay away from this one. So when you put a dash, it means that's a no. You guys cannot put any dashes or anything, but you guys can put an underscore, and you guys if you guys put a, say for example, you guys going to put a public, and you guys can put a say person, for example, and whoever your boss, first if you guys are going for a job, and if they see you guys going to use this way, it means that's a no, that you're going to lose your job. So stay away from the uppercase. Uppercase is only okay for the classes. You guys always use uppercase for classes, because PHP recommends that one. You guys use this one. So no dashes. You guys can put underscore, but in some say for normally in PHP the private, when we put a private, we use the underscore. Say for example, say gender, or say for example, you guys can put something that is very private. Say for example, secret something. So normally you guys see this one underscore before this one. This is not a very good practice, but you guys rarely see this one inside the PHP. And keep in mind, when we come to the constructor, you guys going to see that there is two of these. That's what the PHP not recommend you guys to use this one. So when there is a two underneath, it means we're going to go to the, when we reach to the constructor, then I'm going to explain, but I don't want to confuse you now. But that's one we can use it for private, but that's in rare cases. But now you guys need to understand the public access modifier is called public, and we're going to cover this one, and later on we're going to go on the private and protected. But for the time being, you guys need to know which is the right way for you guys to declare your variable, and this is the right way of declaring the variable. Whatever you guys going to see, first name in social media, guys going to see last name, email address, gender, age, password, friends, friend post, and receive a post, and you name it, and you're going to see the your like, dislike, your school, primary school, your colleges, your universities, and you're going to see blah blah blah, your wallpaper, your wall page, your photo, and you're going to see all sorts of the buttons inside the social media, and you guys can implement that one inside your PHP object-oriented programming. So we can do this in our object-oriented programming, and in the next video we're going to see how we're going to declare and how we're going to create our methods. So if you guys have any question or comment, leave it in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.